Yes. We have the United States of America, our federal constitution, is the second oldest constitution in the world. This is a special document. It survived as long as it has. I mean, do we realize that we have national stability that should not be taken for granted? All right, we think that national stability is the norm in this country. We're one of the only countries in the world that doesn't experience revolution every 30 to 40 years. National stability is not normal, and yet we experience it. Why? It's in large part due to a constitution. Right? Think about this. Afghanistan has had 5 constitutions in the 20th century alone. France has had 15 since our one. And we can go down the line, country by country by country. Why? Because they try and do exactly what Kim is talking about. Has anyone read Plato's Republic? Or Thomas Hobbes' Leviathan? You've read these? Right? They embrace many of these ideas. They say, man cannot coexist with each other because we're greedy and we're violent, and because there's certain things that we want, we will trample upon the rights of other people. So what we will do is we will establish governments, and certain individuals will decide how our society is run. Don't you find that interesting? That they say human beings are greedy, and human beings will tend to trample on the rights of other people, but apparently that same principle doesn't apply to the individual that's running the government. Right? I mean, this whole Communist Manifesto, all of these documents that speak to a better form of government and that freedom in its truest sense doesn't work, cannot deal with that issue. In a free society, we will take the risk, and we've taken the risk in a country such as this. And there's our oath, right? So going back to, did you get Harkins on here? Yeah. Let's talk about Harkins for a minute.
Okay. Hold on a second.
This is one of our congressmen, not from Arizona.
I know, but I'm trying to finish the point. And the point is that for me, when a little boy,
yes, I know.
well, this is important stuff. These are people's lives. It's people's children. It's when you take your child to the hospital and you think it's really bad and your heart is pumping and pumping and pumping and pumping while you're waiting for the doctor to tell you what it is, and then the doctor comes out and says it's going to be okay, except you don't have insurance and you're stuck with a $10,000 or $15,000 bill and your heart starts pumping. And what am I going to do? I talked to a woman that does bankruptcy. She's a good friend of mine that's an attorney. Monday before I left, I said to her,
"What's happening with the economy?"
well, look, we've got to turn this.
More doctors. Where in the Constitution?
We are going to. I don't worry about the Constitution on this, to be honest.
Jackpot, brother.
Oh, here's what I care more about. I care more about the people that are dying every day that don't have health care.
You care more about that than the U.S. Constitution that you swore to uphold.
I believe that it says we have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Okay.
Tell me, it doesn't matter to me.
Because these people don't understand. We look at this, and our reaction is, I know this, they can't be that dumb.
They are.
Yes, they can.
But they are. Right? But you understand that, Mark, and you understand that. But the American people think, well, if they're in office, they must understand the Constitution. They must understand the function of government. And you get this sort of nonsense from Nancy Pelosi all the way on down. Yes?
It doesn't matter whether they know or not, they don't care.
Yes. Yeah. That's right.
They
And
all the rest of the world, it doesn't matter.
yeah. But there has to be accountability. And until the American people are ready to hold these people accountable. And the direction I was going with Cam was this idea of a trust. Right? If, Cam, you're my attorney, and I go to you and I say, I'm going to give you $100,000 to hold in trust, and I outline the directions for you. You sign on the dotted line, I sign on the dotted line, and then we turn it over to you, you're my lawyer. What do you do with that $100,000? Come on, Dan, what do you do with it? I ain't going to hire you if you don't know what to do with it. Dan, what are you going to do with it?
I make investments, but no.
No. Most people think he was going to follow the instructions. That's not what Cam does. He goes out and buys himself a nice new Mercedes with my money. And it's my car. What would happen in this country if a guy like Cam would go to jail? And the Constitution is very, very similar to what it is we're talking about here, right? The Constitution is a trust as well. We are the trustors our congressmen or the trustees. They've been given the rule book. They've been given the parameters under which they must operate. And they violate that thing. They violate the trust. And yet in this country, Cam goes to jail and those people in D.C. get to keep their jobs and make lots of money. There's something terribly wrong with that. An individual who's taken an oath to uphold that trust is not doing that.